You're going to want to get a lot done. You're not going to be able to get it all done with as much energy and pizzazz as you wanted to. You are going to find that extremely frustrating, but how are you going to treat yourself throughout that process? Are you going to say, well, okay, I'm just going to do what I can do. I'm actually just going to work on what I can work on. Worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm Crystal, the Crystalline Priestess, intuitive evolutionary astrologer and psychic tarot reader, and today we have rendition number 2 of Astro Tea weekly, bitches! Yay. So this is our second little scoop about what is going on this week. I've actually decided this week I'm not going to go into every single day individually. This bitch, look, I'm with these transits as well, and I'm really sitting with all this Virgo energy, and I'm really feeling the adjustments, and I'm feeling like I'm having to face some things. And the reality is that I started this wanting to do daily horoscopes because I truly believe that in order to be the best astrologer that I can be, I have to do daily horoscopes. And I also feel like, you know, I love tuning in to some particular people's daily horoscopes and stuff. I find them very helpful. So I really want to do that, and I started off this whole fucking astrology stuff on my YouTube as wanting to do that, and I kind of was like, oh well, maybe it's too much work to do a video every day, blah blah blah. So I decided, no, I'll just do a weekly. Well, now you bitches changed your mind. I'm gonna do a weekly, yes, but I'm also going to get back into dailies because I just feel like, you know, you don't want to listen to every single day of the upcoming week before you even have the week. Like, in my opinion, I'm like, you know what, let's just I'm gonna upload a daily every afternoon for the next day, so you guys can tune in and just enjoy it, you know, and just kind of get an idea of what's actually coming instead of trying to digest everything in 1 week, because I realized that I dump so much information out here and I talk so fast and there's so much going on, and I just honestly, I feel like it's easier. I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I want astrology to be easy for people because it's a really complicated freaking modality. And simple, yes, but it's also really complicated. So let's just jump into it, guys. Basically, the overall energy of this week, we have just, it's never ending for us, is it? It's not as an intense week as last week, thank God. But, you know, this is our final week before Pluto enters back into Capricorn. He's literally going to move back into Capricorn on the 2nd of September. Yeah, so September 2nd is actually when Pluto moves into Capricorn. And we're really gonna feel that, guys. We've had Pluto on the cusp of Aquarius and Capricorn for so long now. It's like, it's as long as friggin', it's longer than we've had Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. Like, this year has just been such an intense year, and it feels like it's a really amplified week this week, where we're sort of having to, with this Pluto, we're really having to start getting ready to prepare, ready to face some of the skeletons that have been in our closet. And I've been talking about these skeletons that have been in our closet for a long time. But with Pluto being right there, so, you know, the week starts off with Pluto only having 8 more minutes left in Aquarius, which means that we only have 8 more days left before he makes this really strong transition and the world rose up. So, you know, this is a week that is a preparation week. The vibe that I was very much getting intuitively and just from the astrology, because we're also, you know, guys, we're gonna have Venus opposing Neptune towards the end of the week and moving into Libra, which, yeah, Libra's her home sign, but she has to move off a Venus opposition after she's just finished, a Neptune opposition, after she's just finished a Saturn opposition this week. There's really a lot of cleaning up that I feel like we're all in the process of doing, and it feels really uncomfortable, and it feels like it's like almost this excitement that's coming in, but at the same time this discomfort, because we're having to face things. You know, face the music is the phrase that I'm kind of getting. It's literally this vibe of putting things off for so long that you literally cannot put it off for any longer, whether these are health issues or just, you know, money issues around relationships or commitments. This is the week. This is the week. And we spoke about this a lot last week about, you know, strategizing and structuring our systems and getting clear on what the fuck we're doing and where we're going. This week is where we're really starting to see, oh man, I've really got a lot more to do than I think that I even realized. I feel like there might have, even with Venus, I'm really getting this Venus opposition that we're going to have this week between you know, Virgo and Pisces with Neptune there. It's feeling to me like there's this wake up reality check that's coming in this week where we're actually seeing, oh man, I actually have been a little bit delusional. It does feel as though, especially when it comes to like our finances and when it comes to our health as well, especially, we could have just been being a little bit delusional. And so it feels like this week, oh my God, we have the healer archetype coming out. So this is definitely a week where it's like, we need to be doing our body work with Venus opposing Neptune. And this is the aspect that's speaking to me at the most this week. We have a lot that's going on, as we do every single week. We're still recovering from that massive Aquarius full moon. And, you know, the sun is really only just beginning its, you know, its journey through Virgo. So we're still only really sort of getting our toes dipped in the water of this new sort of way of going about dealing with these sort of adulty stuff. Like, it feels like, you know, just pushing through a bit of a previous mold that we might have had in our lives where we said, I don't really want to focus on these things, I want to deal with that. That's in the too hard basket. This is the week where it's like, no, we're needing to deal with what feels hard. You know, Sunday, when I'm going to be sharing this video, is basically a really auspicious, lovely day, because we actually have Mars, Chiron, and Mercury all in this really lovely sort of trine sextile grouping over here. And so it just, I think we're really kicking off this week with this, okay, I'm ready to heal it. Like this feeling of, okay, let's get this shit done. Okay, let's pump into it. Let's do it. I really love the sextile between Mars and Chiron, because this Mars in Gemini has been through so much. You know, he's conjunct Jupiter, he's been squaring with Saturn, he's even by the end of this week, he's going to be squaring with Neptune. So as much as this is a week where it's like, okay, we're seeing where we've made lots of progress on our healing, and there's a lot that we have actually healed, but we're realizing where there's still more work that needs to be done, and especially with the way that we're taking care of our physical bodies. So the healer archetype, the light attributes is passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing, which is very much Venus opposing Neptune. And literally at the same time, you know, we're going to be having Mars. Oh man, this is going to be ugly. So thankfully it's not actually at the same time, it's just a little bit after. So thankfully Mars actually has his square with Neptune after Venus opposes Neptune, because that would be one hell of an ugly T-square after we just had two really ugly T-squares last week. So it's like, okay, thank God that we didn't actually have that pressure cooker, but at the same time, Lilith is there. So we do really need to be watching where we're putting our energy still this week, because Neptune is really, it's a rough fucking planet. And this is something that I think as an astrologer, oh my God, my best friend is calling me from the other side of the world. Oh my God, she just stopped. I think that must have been a pocket dial. And she just called me at the same time. Oh no, she's fucking... That's another friend. Okay. Oh, I have to reply to that. I actually have to reply to that. Okay. That's actually funny. We're gonna use that because I just had like a best friend call me that I haven't spoken to in ages, at the same time as having another bestie message me about a stupid show that I told her to watch, which if you're an Aussie, it was Bondi, that new Bondi show. What's it called? Made in Bondi. Please drop in the comments what you think of that show, because like I don't watch this sort of stuff anyway. I'm only getting into TV now, but I watched it the other day and it was the cringiest, most effed up. I couldn't handle it, but I also got sucked in because it was literally so effing bad and so effing cringy that I could not handle it. So I think that this is actually giving us this message of knowing when to maybe have a little bit of silly fun, because with Neptune there's two sides to him. Because what I was about to say is, like, as an astrologer, I feel like something that I actually really want to improve on is really giving people like the truth about some of these transits, some of these planets. So Neptune is a planet that when we have personal transits and personal connections with, we can really go off the deep end. Neptune is one of the most difficult planets to have on a personal planet, especially if it's your moon or it's your sun, because even your rising, because it it brings with it hopelessness. It brings with it loss, depression, complete, it's utter. Like, if you could think of the most Piscean, the most like foggy, like lost psychotic energy that you could, that is Neptune.
Here's Johnny!
And at the same time, Neptune is the antenna, you know, along with Uranus, that connects us to spirit and that connects us to God. It's the fantasy of an alternate reality at the same time as a connection to something greater than us. And the thing about Neptune is it brings a blessing no matter what. So even though there's a discomfort and an ugliness and an illusion and a delusion that comes up with Neptune, there's a blessing and a gift that Neptune's trying to give always when it has, you know, a big sort of transit that it's going through in your natal chart or just globally. Personally, when I had Neptune conjunct my Sun in 2019 and 20, and I had Pluto conjunct my Neptune at the same time, I have never felt more depressed and lost in my entire life. That is the only time I've ever actually really contemplated dark stuff, doing dark things to myself. So I'm bringing this up to warn you, I suppose, about the energy of this week, just because, you know, with a Venus opposing Neptune, relationship stuff too, picking out the nitty-gritty stuff. Venus hates to be in Virgo anyway, you know, Venus wants to be in Pisces' sign. They're that's the thing. There's this push and pull between Virgo and Pisces, and because I'm a Pisces with a 6th house sun, this is a very, I think I understand this energy quite well, if I'm quite honest, and I like talking about it because it's very much the dichotomy about, you know, knowing when enough is enough, knowing when too much is too much, knowing when, like, you know, it's healthy to put your time and energy and your effort into something, and knowing when to step back because you're literally being called in a certain direction. This is about like intuition and logic. That's why Mercury rules Virgo and, you know, Jupiter and Neptune rule Pisces, because there has to be this symbiosis between logic and intuition, you know, because it's like humans we don't function well when we're only relying on one. So I think that this for me is really feeling, especially with the healer coming out, it's really just emphasizing our need this week to be listening to the soul, listening to the heart, literally listen to your heart when it's calling for you. I think I sung that last week. Like, this is so potent because at the same time, you know, we do have Mercury still who has been retrograde and he's coming direct this week, so we're still going to have to deal with him moving back over everywhere he's just been over the past 3 weeks. So we're still going to be having to clean shit up, but he's going direct, so we're finally going to be getting a clear insight as to what the actual F has been going on, why these really weird little circumstances. And a lot of it with Virgo energy, it's little things. It's not maybe some big thing, or it's a little health thing, you know. It starts out as a little health thing. It starts out as a little lump on your breast and it grows into something bigger, you know. It's like, this is needing to pay attention to those things. If you do need to go get a checkup, go. You know, I'm filming this morning after having just gone to the doctors, and I don't ever go to the doctors, literally ever. So this healer is really speaking. I only went because I was forced to under this astrology. So the shadow attributes of the healer is taking advantage of those who need help and failing to care for oneself. And that is the thing. I feel as though this is a week where it's like, we cannot be not taking care of ourselves. I'm going to emphasize this whole week being about, look, we have the Nine of Swords, being about not getting lost in our own anxiety, not getting lost in fear, not getting lost in all these really overwhelming, freaky feelings. Because with Neptune energy, it's a really freaky vibe. It's a really dark energy. And it's not that Neptune's itself like a dark planet or anything, and Pisces energy is dark. My word, no. Pisces energy is literally some of the most beautiful fucking energy there is. But, there's a fucking fine line. There is a need with Pisces energy to not get so lost, and that's why this Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces is such a massive degree because it's the final degree of the zodiac. We have had Neptune here since May. We have been dealing with some of these really subconscious, really strong urges and desires and dreams that we've been sort of cultivating for ourselves for months at this point. And with the King of Pentacles coming out and the Page of Swords and the Ace of Wands coming out for this week, it feels as though the ideas that we've been rooting and grounding over, you know, even since Saturn actually went into Pisces. So I know that I'm getting really far out on these transits, but this is how astrology works. You have to look at the past and you have to look at the present and you have to look at the future. It's all symbiotic. So if you think about when Saturn actually entered Pisces, the 7th of March 2023, what has been coming up for you since then? Because we just had that massive square the past week while we had the full moon between Jupiter and Saturn, and we also had Venus there. So Venus now coming to oppose Neptune is saying, where are we able to ground these desires, these ideas, these thoughts, these feelings into something physical and tangible? And it's about staying committed and remaining loyal to the path that you have already chosen. So, like I spoke to it a lot last week, with this Nine of Wands coming out, we are all feeling really tired. We are all feeling really exhausted. Some of us are wanting to throw in the towel with what we've been building and what we've been trying to grow and achieve, especially with this Ace of Pentacles coming out. We're feeling really exhausted by the things we've been trying to grow. It feels as though, you know, we've kind of been trying to grow like a luscious, abundant garden, and all we've been getting at this point is just, you know, drought. It feels as though it's felt like a little bit of a drought. And so I really feel as though this week, really important to be paying attention to what it is that you need nourishment wise. What do you need to be giving yourself? And I feel as though there's a lot of awareness that's actually going to be coming in for you this week about better ways of taking care of your body. The King of Pentacles is physical. It's about physical shit. So this is you mastering yourself physically, mastering how to give yourself what you need in the moments that you need them. We have the Nine of Wands and the Nine of Swords out here. So very mentally and physically and emotionally exhausted this week, and that's the opposition between Venus and Neptune. And then we have the Mars square Neptune. So Mars is our drive, it's our force, it's our ambition, it's what's getting us up out of bed in the morning. This week is a week where we're going to have to realize that unless we're taking physical care of ourselves, unless we're putting ourselves as our number one priority and taking care of our health, we're not able to actually go about these activities to full force and full effect. Like I've said this recently in a reading, athletes need rest days. Literally. If you keep pushing as an athlete, you essentially just fuck up your body. So are you trying to fuck up? Are you trying to fuck everything up by literally just pushing at something so hard that it cannot physically function anymore? Like it cannot hold itself up. Or are you going to be intelligent about the way that you're utilizing your energy? Mercury is about intelligence. It's about smarts. You know, Venus doesn't like to be in Virgo because it's smart. It's too heady. You know, it's not just like Venus in Pisces is like, yeah, okay. My partner has this. He's a Venus in Pisces. He's like, yeah, you do whatever you want, babe. I don't care. Like if you want to go smoke like 6 joints and go for a run and play with the dog on the beach instead of doing any actual work today, like I don't care, do whatever you want, like it's all cool. That's his vibe. But a Venus in Virgo person would be like, you're not actually allowed to go out and do any of that stuff until you finish like organizing the house. I want to make sure it's your day off, so make sure the house is clean and blah 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 blah. Then you can go outside and then you can go smoke a joint and play. But you must make sure that you've gotten all your chores done before you have that joint. And so interesting energy. I fuck with both because like I said to you guys, Pisces sun in the 6th house, I'm like a complete fucking renegade freak, but at the same time I'm like a slave driver. I'm like, no, we can smoke heaps of weed, but we have to do it after our cleaning. Anyway guys, that's the vibe. Okay, so it's like you can do what you would like. You can do what feels good to you, you know, healing. This is even like go get some body work done. But if you feel like you're not allowed to get any body work done until you've got what you're needing to achieve done, then do that. But know when that's ridiculous. Know when that's being actually in alignment with where you're going. This is really feeling to me like it's important to pay attention to our own cycles. And of course, like a lot of you that watch my videos are feminine. So of course I'm going to bring up the feminine cycle. If you're a woman, you're really needing to focus on these cycles, you know, Venus opposing Neptune. This is feeling like, and in Virgo between Pisces, I feel like it's really an important week this week to just be loving on the feminine essence aspect of you, you know, Lilith being a part of this opposition. You know, Venus is going to conjunct Lilith this week. So it's very much like this need to not over criticize, not overdo, not perfectionist everything. You know what I mean? It's like, can we just do and create for the joy of creating and just for getting things done? You know, this is an energy this week where it's like, you're going to want to get a lot done. You're not going to be able to get it all done with as much energy and pizzazz as you wanted to. You are going to find that extremely frustrating, but how are you going to treat yourself throughout that process? Are you going to say, well, okay, I'm just going to do what I can do. I'm actually just going to work on what I can work on. There's no, you know, it's that like simple idea of, isn't it like, what's the quote? Let me look this up because I don't know how to say this. Okay, well, I got a bunch of quotes, so this is what I was trying to say. Worrying does not take away tomorrow's troubles, it takes away today's peace. So that's one. Worrying is a waste of time. Good and bad things will happen in life. You just have to keep living and not stress over what you can't control. Worry is a cycle of inefficient thoughts whirling around a center of fear. So basically, you know, worry is that. That's what this Nine of Swords is. It's worry. It's overthinking. It's over worrying. It's not physically doing anything about it though. And now the thing is, this energy this week is calling for us to know, how do we, you know, go about this in a way that actually gets this stuff done but doesn't deplete us. You know, we have the B coming out, responsibility and dedication, with the seal that says spirit and perception. So there is a responsibility, there is a dedication this week, there is shit that we need to get done, there is shit that we need to do, and we're not going to feel like we have the energy to do it. And it's going to feel as though it's overwhelming, it's going to feel hard, it's going to feel like there's a lot on our plates. But this energy is an awakener. Like I said, I gave you that big spiel about Neptune because even though it's going to bring in some really ugly feelings this week. When I had Chiron opposing Neptune 2 years ago, I'm bringing you all my Neptune secrets. I was the sickest I've ever been in my life in terms of anxiety. I was vomiting every single morning before work because I was that anxious about going to work. Seriously. And I have Chiron in Virgo in the 12th house. So, guys, Neptune in Pisces is difficult. It deals with these energies. The Virgo, the Pisces axis is hard. It is anxiety. It is the fear. It is this deep, insane, crazy fear. And I was anxious. I was so afraid. I was in such a bad situation that I could not physically handle it. And so the anxiety just manifested just as bodily issues. I didn't sit there all day thinking about my anxiety. My body was, you know, projecting its own anxiety. So what I'm kind of trying to say is that with this seal coming out too, paying attention to the messages your body's trying to project to you. What is the perception that you're actually receiving about how you feel? Why do you feel this way? A seal is, you know, it's like, it's funny, I was about to say like it's a water dog, but you also have the dog out here. So you have two animals that really feel very loyal and feel very committed to something. And so this is a week where it is so important to remain committed to the path that you place yourself on, you know. And I keep banging on this message, but that's because of the astrology, you know, yeah, things change throughout the week, but overall we've got some really tough outer planet stuff that we've been dealing with. And so that tough outer planet stuff is dealing with our subconscious, and it's dealing with us needing to work through these issues about not feeling like we can fucking do this shit and you know, flip-flopping between I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna hold myself back, I'm gonna do it, no, I'm gonna do it, no, you know. It's like Virgo and Pisces is flip-flopping. And I can say that because you can see through my channel how much have I flip-flopped. This energy is hard to deal with because it's all over the fucking place. And for a lot of my fixed people, that's going to be difficult as well. And we have the sun in Virgo, you know, a mutable sign. So this is about changes that need to be made at the moment. and with this friendship and loyalty coming out as well, and with both of my friends calling during this reading, very much this is a week to be having a chat to your friends, connecting with your friends, like Pluto coming back to Capricorn. So this is our last week of Pluto in Aquarius. So this is the week to be calling up your friends, having some fun chats, maybe talking about your dreams and things like that. But responsibility and dedication is coming out. So it's like maybe even this is the week where it's like maybe start using your friends more so as like, of course, friends, but like maybe start up-leveling the way you guys interact with each other and being like, okay, well now we may be besties and we're gonna like, you know, have our drinks of a Saturday and shit like that, but how about we meet up every Friday and before drinks, how about we do a little finance audit for each one of us and we actually have a chat about our finances and where we want to go and what we failed on and all that sort of stuff. How about we start talking with accountability towards each other, you know, and we start having these conversations. Or even if you start doing it with your partner, you know, with Venus being here. It's about having responsible relationships and being dedicated to this new responsible version of you. See, Saturn being in Pisces, and like I brought this up before, everything since March, Saturn, okay, first we'll start with Neptune. Neptune moved into Pisces back in, I think it was 2011. So since 2011, we have had this really far out energy with Neptune. Neptune in his home sign, he hasn't been here since about the 1600s, don't quote me, can't remember, but it's one of them. You know, it's been a freaking long time. It's a long cycle. So, you know, and the last time, I think it was the last time that we had Neptune in Pisces, that was when like the witch trials, the Salem witch trials and shit was happening. So, you know, this is a time that really brings up some really, really crazy spiritual ideas and some really crazy esoteric ideas and things like that. And so Neptune being here since 2011, we've really watched this manifestation community grow. We've really watched the spiritual community grow. We've really watched the new age sort of vibe become like a real thing and like channeling become a real thing and all this stuff, which, you know, it's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. Great. But there's a shadow because Pisces and Gemini are the two signs that have shadow. They're the two signs that are duality because Gemini is the twins and Pisces is the two fish, you know, subconscious and the unconscious. No, unconscious and the conscious. And so there's a shadow that comes with this energy. Yeah, the spiritual stuff's beautiful, but it comes with a dark side. Sorry, camera stopped filming. But it comes with a dark side, which is delusion and which is spiritual bypass. That's why in the past, you know, 10 years, 12 years, you've heard of spiritual bypass, probably for the first time in your life, because that's the shadow of Neptune. And so in my humble opinion, as an astrologer, I believe that having Saturn finally reach this point in the zodiac, while Neptune's here, and yes, they will not be making a conjunction together in Pisces, they will be making a conjunction together in Aries, which is scarier, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't really know, actually, in that sense. All I know is I think it's going to blow things up globally, much bigger than they already are. But on this first note, basically, Saturn coming here is the first time since 2011 and 12 we've been able to ground some of this spiritual energy in, and I feel as though with the square from Mars, oh my god, he's coming in now to say, are you being delusional or are you being really fucking spiritually open, awake and aware? You could be on two timelines at this point. Like, I feel like the Earth is on two timelines. There are people that are on the timeline of going up and up and up and up, and there are people on the timeline of going down, 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 down. It depends on your vibe. It depends on your feeling. It depends on whether you're being conscious or unconscious. You know, it's about finding that balance, you know, and with Venus moving into Libra, after she's made this really intense opposition, she's asking us at this point this week to find a balance. We have grace and kindness with the deer at the bottom of the deck as well. So we're finally getting to kind of like ground these really big dreams that we've been building over like a long time now. And so since Saturn's come here, we've really had to start and to stop, to start and to sort of stop. And it feels like this is the point where, you know, we're ready to keep going again. You know, Saturn, he hasn't finished his retrograde. He's still going to retrograde down to 12 degrees. He's only at 16 degrees this week, which, you know, it's about to hit my sun and Saturn again. So yeah. But it's a really strong point. It's a really strong point. He's halfway through the zodiac again. He's coming back to smash you and say, have we been taking enough care of ourselves? Have we been putting in the correct action spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, all this sort of stuff, because it's all symbiotic. Your chart does not exist as in one point. And I've learned this the hard way myself, is that I cannot focus on only one thing. If I'm only focusing on my career, nothing works, because essentially your life is a symbiotic wheel. That is why astrology charts are 12 houses. They are a wheel. They're a bunch of different parts of your chart. You know, you're never just going to be one thing. So the last cards that we have for this reading is Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information, which is the second message that we've actually got about healing information. So very much like I spoke to, very much a week of getting your health sorted out, paying attention to that, all that sort of stuff. And you know, I'm seeing that's a soccer ball. So for some of you guys, it's like getting into fitness and health and lifestyle in general and just doing things that are more fun. But we have Guardian Angel coming out as well that says you are not alone. And we have Spring, see your seeds grow. So like, I love this Guardian actually coming out, because with this energy with Neptune being so strong this week, and you know, starting off the week with this lovely sort of trine and sextile stuff going on with Chiron, Mars, and with Mercury, it's very much a week that is very auspicious. It feels like we're very connected with God, even though things feel really foggy and weird and uncomfortable. It's almost like God is trying to give us a message. And I've spoken to that, you know, plenty of times. If you've been tuning in my stuff, you've heard me talk about these yods and how God is speaking and God is trying to say, because we still have Mercury that's going to move back over those yod points, which is the finger of God. 0 degrees of Virgo at the moment, or 29 degrees of Leo, is where God is pointing to say, this is where we need to focus. This is where we need to clean up. So Spring with see your seeds grow. And look, this Ace of Pentacles that we were talking about earlier, we're feeling a little bit burnt out from the things we've been trying to grow. This is a week where it feels as though not everything's going to blow up, nothing's going to blow up or anything. But basically this is a week where it's like, you're going to start to see, I think, some of the progress that you've made, you know, some of this actually starting to manifest and to grow, even though you're not where you want to be yet. This is very much, I think, this week is the universe giving you a little spiritual kick to say, this is just a taste of how good it can get if you stick to this path. This is just a taste of how exciting it's going to be and how much love you're going to feel if you stick to what feels like a fuck yes in your heart and soul, my loves. So I'm going to leave this reading there. I do hope that you enjoyed this. Of course, I'm going to be uploading a daily horoscope from next week, so it should be from Monday. I'm not going to worry about a weekend horoscope because this is going up on Sunday. I am filming it Friday though, so that's my logic there. But basically, I'm just going to upload a daily every day next week. I've also got 2 picky cards that I've filmed, haven't edited yet, so I've got some exciting picky cards coming out as well. One's about Mercury retrograde, so that's going to be fun. And I can't even remember what the other one's about, so lol, that'll be fun when I edit it. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this, please do give it a thumbs up, because it does help to spread these videos to more other astro nerds and astro freaks like you and me. If you want to book a personal tarot or astrology reading with me, you can do that down below through the links in my description. I would like to thank your angels, your ancestors, your higher self, your spirit guides, and all the beautiful benevolent beings that are surrounding you and I in all moments for allowing me to receive and to deliver this message to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you being here, and any feedback that you guys want to give, anything you want to share about what's been coming up for you over these past few weeks and over that full moon, do drop it down below. I love connecting with you guys and hearing what you have to say and all that jazz. Love you guys big time, and I will see you in Astro Tea weekly number 3 for next week. Ooh. Oh my god, next week we've got fucking Pluto back in Capricorn, so that one's gonna be hectic too. Alright guys, love you, peace. Oh yeah, don't forget to check out the channel song too. Peace.